Welcome, everyone, to the Commentary Podcast. I am your host, Pat Brennan. Today on the podcast, we are going to be watching Mission Impossible. It was released in 1996. It is written by David Koepp and Robert Towne, and it is directed by Brian De Palma. The film stars Tom Cruise, Jon Voight, Henry Czerny, Emmanuel Bayart, John Reno, Ving Rhames, Kirsten Scott Thomas, Emilio Estevez, and Vanessa Redgrave. An American agent under false suspicion of disloyalty must discover and expose the real spy without the help of his organization. Joining me for this rewatch of Mission Impossible are my two co-hosts, Vikash and Martine. I will drop all of their info in the episode description, so please give them a follow and check them out. Now, I'm going to be watching the 4K copy I have of Mission Impossible, but it is currently available to stream on Prime Video. You can also rent it on Amazon, Apple TV, and Fandango at home for $4 each. I say we get things kicked off. We are going to be pressing play on Mission Impossible, and I hope you do as well. In 3, 2, and 1.
Boom, 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 boom. Copyrighted on YouTube already.
Thomas Cruise.
His first
Makes
producing
you think
credit.
Of he produced like almost all of them, but it makes you think of the Limp Bizkit version of this theme.
Every time I watch this movie, I forget that Emilio Estevez is in it. Like, oh yeah, Emilio
I
Estevez.
never forget
For
because
5 minutes.
I was traumatized watching this for the first time.
Face like smashed in with like a rail.
I still remember I was watching it on TV. My mom was making dinner and she was calling me to dinner. I was like, hold up, wait a second. And then, you know, he ultimately gets smashed in the elevator. Then, like, it goes to commercials. I'm like, okay, let me go eat dinner real quick.
Gordon Bombay, man. The Muddy Duck Man. Kind of looks like Bryan Cranston right there.
He does. Brian De Palma, man.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We got to give him his flowers.
De Palma made a fucking Mission Impossible movie.
De Palma made Scarface, Mission Impossible,
Carlito's Way.
Body Double, Carlito's Way.
Phantom of the Paradise.
God, man.
Nothing
he,
but
Been
all
some,
those are
been minutes
fantastic.
He made something.
It was his idea for the Star Wars scroll.
He made something compelling, but I mean,
heard
not
that story?
compelling, but he hasn't made something compelling in a hot minute. He has been making stuff. They had a documentary that came out about Brian De Palma, but it's been a second
There's
since
a,
we've seen him.
There's a book that just came out. I saw at Barnes & Noble. I forget if it's called the De Palma Effect or something, but it's a new book.
About him.
Yeah, about all of his work, I think. But you've heard the story of him creating the Star Wars
Scroll that
right?
there was no context to the movie,
Yeah.
and
He had
he
no
was
idea
like,
what the hell was going
he's
on.
like, George, you need something.
Yeah.
And obviously half of it probably is Lucas thinking of it, but it is him taking the advice that our man De Palma had. I just spent like 20 minutes today talking to Zach about George Lucas because we're going to go see the re-release this weekend for Revenge of the Sith. We're going to talk about it. I'm like, there's such a love to give him, but there's also, you know, the disconnect with his directing, but we're going to talk about the animation aspect of him, the world building, the true genius that Lucas had, and you know,
I'm seeing it on
that's
the
a whole other
28th,
combo. I think I'm seeing it Saturday.
I
I'm
got a
excited.
film festival this weekend, so it's gonna be a little bit harder for me to
Oh
catch
yeah,
anything
Atlanta
right
Film
now.
Festival.
Yeah, and I've got a
Have
lot
fun,
of
man.
tickets. Funny enough, I actually got a screener today for a movie that's not premiering, but I was supposed to be seeing at the film festival. Funny enough.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
No, I wish.
I wouldn't want
I'm
a
so
fucking
hyped for
screener
Final
for that.
Reckoning.
I also would not want a
So-
screener for that.
The other half of this is Paula Wagner for the producing, and him and Paula Wagner pretty much came together and made this one, and she's the one who essentially gave him his, you know, his baby steps into doing this for himself, and you know, he's produced all of these now, and there's no stopping him and McHugh with Christopher Corey with what they're doing. If anybody's listening to this, we are going to be doing all of the movies from 1 through 7, Dead Reckoning, so get excited because we're excited.
Dead
Have you
Reckoning
guys
Part
seen
1, you mean?
the runtime for Dead Reckoning, the new one?
Or
You mean the Final Reckoning?
put
Come
it
on,
this
guys.
way.
Final
I need to
Reckoning.
any numbers.
Part 2.
What is it?
Final Reckoning.
It's
Part
ridiculous.
2,
It's
the
it's like
epilogue.
it's the shortest film, I think. It's like 2 hours.
I think it's just 2 hours. Yeah.
Actually,
When
the shortest
did this
film
drop
since
today?
the first film.
I think this is.
No,
the
it's been
shortest film.
it's been on the last time I looked at it. Hold on, let me see if it's still up.
It does say
No reason
IMDb,
why.
it said 2 hours.
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
believe it because unless they're
I
screening a
do.
movie, because when
I
it
was
comes to
looking at
them, they have such a like the way they work is crazy. And besides like shipping off like VFX shots, I don't know when they're locking picture when it
Well, I mean,
edit.
here's my thing with why I think it's staying at 2 hours, right? A few years ago, I remember you guys, I think I may have been friends with you guys already, but I tweeted at Christopher McQuarrie asking him how long Dead Reckoning Part 1 was going to be, and he said like it should be as long as it is entertaining or whatever. A film should be as long as it's entertaining. With Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2 is shorter. And I get where they're coming at with this. A lot of movies, if you take a look at like Catching Fire or like I'm sorry, not Catching Fire, but Mockingjay, Breaking Dawn, part ones and part twos of movies. Typically, the part 2 ends up actually being a little bit shorter. That's not to say that's the case here, but I think
because there's more exposition in a sense.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of, the studio is like, hey, can we have this be a bit shorter? We get more showtimes during the day, but also if the film is shorter, more people are willing to go see it and they make more money. And if they're trying to go out with a bang, if this really is the last movie,
that's a good point.
I could see
Top Gun was 2 hours, right?
2 hours. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised
Maverick.
if because I guess Dead Reckoning didn't make a lot of money because that's their own fucking fault. But it didn't make a lot of money, so they could have said it can't.
They should have pushed the movie. They should have pushed.
All I'm saying too is with Dead Reckoning Part 1 too is that like I'm sorry, but how do you not see fucking Oppenheimer, Barbie coming the week after and think that you're gonna make any money?
I think that was Tom being like, no, I'm like he's trying to take a stance on I had this date first, and
Steve Zalian has a credit for this for story. Okay, so Robert Towne is a legend. David Koepp is a legend. And so is Steve Zalian. I love Steve Zalian. I don't know about y'all. I love his writing. Okay, y'all want to hear a real random tidbit about this man, Jim Phelps? This character's name is Jim Phelps. And throw it all the way to Mission 7. At the beginning, there's a guy who comes and like drops off a package, and he's supposed to be like a new agent for the IMF. And that actor's name is like Jim Smith, like Jim James Phelps. His name was literally Jim Phelps.
Okay, so I just did a look through all of the movies. Which film do you guys think is the longest, and what's the runtime on it?
Longest one is Fallout, probably like 232.
232 minutes? Are you saying 2 hours?
No, 2 hours 32 minutes.
I was gonna say you're gonna use 5 hours.
No, sir.
I'm gonna say it is Rogue Nation.
The longest film in the franchise is Dead Reckoning Part 1, clocking in at 2 hours and 43. Fallout is close second. It's 2 hours and 27. Rogue Nation is 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Wow, I forgot that Dead Reckoning is so long. It doesn't feel long to me.
So the movie being 2 hours, maybe we see 10 extra minutes, but it makes sense. Like the longest films have been the last two.
Yeah. And they had more story to tell. And this one, it's going to be a lot of payoff in a sense, right?
I think you're right, though. I think the studio is also, again, taking into account that Reckoning or the Part 1 didn't make a lot of money. And it's on their fault as well. But they're probably like, we can't have a 3-hour finale. We need more showtime.
And the thing is,
we need money.
The budget. It's a $400 million movie by itself.
Yeah. So is that also taking to, because they shot them at the same time, right? Or did they shoot them separately?
No, separate. Or so they shot 7, and then they were shooting the South Africa sequence and a couple other things within that. Okay. So they had shot maybe 20% of it, max. Max. Do y'all remember the Drake Hotel from The Fugitive? Maybe I'm just a nerd.
It's been a while since I've seen The Fugitive.
If y'all ever go to Chicago, if you ever go to like Michigan Lake, Michigan Avenue, you will see the Drake Hotel over there. Beautiful area actually to just go and walk. It's always a busy, local area.
She stole the samples.
John Voight, amazing actor, terrible person.
Yeah. What are you talking? He's the face of MAGA now. He's going to bring Hollywood back to what it was, the golden age.
Crazy to me that he was in Megalopolis and he was fine with it. I don't even know if he read the script.
He's one
It
of
was
the
just
three,
acting.
he's one of the three men that Donald Trump said to bring back the golden age of Hollywood, and all three of them didn't even act in the golden age of Hollywood. So
I do love this cast. I love this cast.
This is a great cast.
One thing about them with these movies is that they're pushing modernity always. They're always trying to do something Bondian in a sense, but it is, Mission Impossible that they're actually doing. And
it's funny that you say that they're
every
pushing
time
something Bondian in a way, because when I think of Bond in like this era that it was in, it was the Pierce Brosnan era and just the way that shit was going. And then it does feel a little bit like Mission Impossible 2 also kind of crosses into that territory.
And I mean,
it feels
all the
very
way to 2015 when Spectre came out and Rogue Nation came out, and Rogue Nation blew Spectre out of the water, in my opinion. Like, y'all had Hoyte van Hoytema, Lee Smith, Sam Mendes behind the camera, but it's like, if you don't have a good story, it's not going to save you.
They were both also movies that were very similar. I mean, like close to each other too, like Ghost Protocol and they didn't come out the same year, but like 1 year after another, 2011, 2012, and then they both just happened to have a sequel the same year. And Rogue Nation did like stupid numbers.
I love this gum.
Three in Casino Royale come out same year.
2006.
Yeah.
No, 2005
come out the
for
same.
Casino Royale.
Oh,
you gonna put money on that?
Might be right on that.
I know.
Casino Royale 2006.
Wait, what?
Mission
right.
Impossible 3 2006. Damn, I should have put money on that.
I should have lost some money on that.
I made a bet about the Last of Us episode that came out yesterday with a friend.
Oh, about the pew pew?
About the pew pew. He didn't think that it was going to happen that early. He said it's going to happen after episode 4.
You know how I know it's going to happen? Because bro is busy.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, I knew it was coming.
He'll be back for flashbacks and stuff, because there's flashbacks in the game. But spoiler for Last of Us, I'm not going to say what happened, but yeah, we kind of hinted what happened.
I'm not watching.
Spoil it. It's literally been years since the game came out.
Joel dies.
Bro, why are you being a dope?
Because the game has been out for fucking years, because that's why. He's not being
I haven't played the games. I had this
thing.
spoiled for me yesterday.
You're fucking lying.
You didn't watch it?
He's fucking lying.
I haven't played the games, and I haven't watched it yet.
I spent the entire day yesterday catching up on
spoiled
season 1 and rewatching it so I could watch the episode from yesterday, because I didn't want to have it spoiled for me.
I chose Star Wars Andor. Which, I mean, both are going to be fulfilling stories. It's just Andor is going to be I don't know. There's something, we're Dan Gilroy fans here. Or excuse me, Tony Gilroy, not Dan Gilroy.
I was going to say, Dan Gilroy didn't fucking do that shit. I haven't even seen the show,
wrote on
I know that.
What's Kristen Scott Thomas up to? Let's see what she's doing.
She's great in this. These glasses, this whole outfit is so 70s. I love it. You know what's funny? These glasses have made a comeback.
Like that aviator style. I don't even know what they're called. It looks like they're aviators.
They're not aviators. They're pedo glasses, essentially. And it's like, if men wear them, they're weird. But if women wear them, they're great.
Stylish.
You're Jeffrey Dahmer if you fucking wear them.
I told Zach's wife she wears glasses like that. I was like, I swear to God, if I wore those, I couldn't go in public.
It'd put you on a fucking list.
Dude, look at Bombay just in the fucking elevators. Kristen Scott Thomas. She's an English patient. Is English Patient same year as this?
I think English Patient was 90.
All right, let's do it again, boys.
94, 95?
No idea. You act like an English Patient fan.
English Patient, 1996. Damn, I should go on like a trivia.
Apparently, I don't know.
I'm pretty good with years on movies, and I have a guy at work that's pretty new, and he's really fascinated by the fact that he can name any movie, and I can tell him what year it is. But he also names like really popular movies, so it's very easy.
So he's like
the other day,
I'm surprised I fumbled Casino Royale.
And he'll sit down.
That means that Aragon came out in 2006.
And he'll be like, "How does he do it?"
Pulp Fiction,
It's always like the
1994.
most popular
I'd be like,
movies.
Manhattan Melodrama. What year?
Yo, what year did 27 Dresses come out?
He came out the other day and he was like, I have a super
2008?
niche one for you. And he was like, Blue Ruin. And I was like,
2013, 2011.
well, the thing that he tries to get from me, he tries to get year, he tries to get the director, and sometimes the studio. Sometimes I can do all three. It
Jeremy
just depends.
Saulnier.
Yeah, and that one wasn't hard because I know that he just had Rebel Ridge come out, so I was like, his name has been everywhere recently. Green Room too.
Yep, I know someone who worked on Green Room. He says by all means, like he really messes. He likes all those people, like Jeremy and his wife.
I love that they keep the face like swapping throughout like all of them. That's just like they're running
kind of a staple, yeah.
Yeah.
So the way that I see these movies is that like every movie almost feels like it's a callback to the first movie with little small things that are happening.
I feel like the only one that they really don't reference at all is 2. If you watch all of them, like past 2, like they don't really. They're like
they don't acknowledge 2 at all.
2 at all.
It's so funny.
5 is the perfect mix of 4 and 1, and then 6 is kind of.
It's a good mix of all of them,
6,
except for 2.
6 because then Michelle Monaghan then came back at the end of Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout, yeah.
I wonder if she's gonna be in the new one.
I have this theory that the reason that Ethan Hunt does all these stunts and the reason that he's willing to go out of his way to like die is because he doesn't have anything to live for after losing Michelle Monaghan.
That's a good theory.
Look at her.
So
you can sit here and tell me
watching White Lotus.
So
White Lotus,
what
like,
he said
sucks, bro.
They wanted to resolve her story, so she's definitely not in the new movie. That's why they had her in 6, and we'll see where they go with 7. Do y'all want me to? You want me to tell you the theory that I've been told Friday when we were supposed to shoot? That night. Someone told me a theory, and I'm like, this kind of tracks.
When you say theory, is it about the film and like the storyline, or what is it?
It's about the 8th one and like the relativity of Haley Atwell's character and Ethan Hunt.
You think it's his daughter?
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what they said. I was like, maybe. Kind of makes sense.
Are you hearing this shit, Pat?
I don't want to see that.
Let me see this. She's 43.
Hearing this?
So you're saying Tom Cruise is 62?
I thought they brought in Haley to like, oh, she's of a good age and she's going to be able to run the franchise from here and be sort of a leader. Like he's in her 40s.
Wait, so who would be her mom?
The lady that they in the flashback. She has all of her stuff. They have scenes shot with her. They just didn't put them in this movie because they didn't feel right.
When you say the flashback, what flashback are you speaking of?
The flashback with young Ethan, where the cops come and Asai Morales' character is there.
Oh,
and he's over her dead body.
Is that final predictions from you, Vikash? What we're gonna get in the new movie?
No predictions. I have no predictions because if I put predictions, I put expectations. I don't want any expectations.
It's not such a bad thing
put
to
it this
have,
way:
like,
the
an
only
idea
thing, since we're talking about Mission Impossible, just as a franchise, like I told you, I want to do we'll do a retrospective on my end, like on Cinema Pursuit. We'll talk about all the movies after we're done with this, and we see the new movie. But I think they shouldn't kill Ethan. Like I don't want to see him die.
I think
he's gonna die. I think he's gonna die.
Because my thing is that we've already seen spoilers for John Wick and No Time to Die, and for War for the Planet of the Apes. They've killed Caesar. They killed John Wick. They killed Bond, and it just feels kind of corny to kill another one, right?
I don't feel it's corny.
I mean, like
I like this weird era that we're in where people are dying at the end of their franchises. It feels justified.
But Wick's coming back, though, right?
Which I hate. I hate that Wick's coming back.
Yeah, the shit with John Wick is dumb.
He's dead. Y'all killed him. We don't need another story.
Yeah. I think what pisses me off more than them killing off a character than bringing back the character.
RP Emilio. You're a good one for about, how long are we in here for? 20 minutes?
We're at
it hasn't been
17 minutes.
It's been 17. It's been 20. But see, that's the thing. Great movies have great pacing. This movie goes by fast.
You know, I was noticing this a lot too when we were watching this like a week or two ago because I was showing Avery this movie. But there's a lot of Dutch angles in this.
There is a lot of Dutch angles.
Of course.
I think he has a lot of Dutch angles, and it's really
the iconic one is the one in the what do you call it? The conversation that Henry Zerny and Tom have in the
Bro, why did he put his mouth
in the restaurant? Yo, listen to this.
Okay, a lot of Dutch angles, but also a lot of the split diopter shots. This movie has a lot. Really pay attention, and they're really There are some that are really obvious, but then there's also some that are like very well like
this is the best part of the movie.
The composition is so great that you don't notice it.
So good that you don't even notice it at times.
Exactly.
This is the best part of the movie right here.
No, it's not.
The night scene?
it is. This is like definitely 10 out of 10. Like some of the best stuff that Mission has ever done, no doubt. Let me think. The ending's not great in this. It is actually, but it's not as great as this. You're right. Never mind. You're 100% right. This is because it's horrifying. Mm-hmm. Because how do you start a movie, murder everybody?
Spoiler, dies in quotes.
Kristen in that shot right there. I mean, doesn't she? This looks like a shot out of a noir movie, like this
is very noir,
like a 40s movie.
Yeah,
it is very much like
his trench coat he has on. It's like so like.
But look at the softness.
Just give him a damn fedora, and we'd be right in the 40s.
Look at that blue. That blue.
You can literally see the light is right there.
Movies don't have blues anymore.
Is as if it matters. Like you said, the lights there, I've never noticed that light.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't matter. Just like, hey, it looks fucking cool, blue.
Movies used to have lights.
You get the blue mist coming.
You used to be able to see movies.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. You can have great lighting that that's layered. You can see everything. You don't have to just I wouldn't call it overexposed, but you're over lighting scenes.
This is shot very old Hollywood.
But my problem is that you overlight scenes. But what's the logic behind it? Are you disrespecting the audience, saying that they are not going to be able to perceive a scene because it's not fully lit?
No, it's just this weird obsession with realism right now that everybody has. Because I think it's a combination of things.
The way they lit Sinners is fantastic.
Yeah, but that's different though. My point is that
that's the one-off, right? There's a deliberate
choice from somebody like Ryan Coogler, whereas a lot of movies and TV shows that go straight to streaming, and I would even say some movies that go to theaters because they're made for streaming, and then an executive sees it and says like, "Wow, this would do really well and it would make money," but there's this obsession with realism because of the high technology we have with HDR content, and unfortunately, a lot of movie theaters, not all of them, are not equipped with HDR capable projectors, like good HDR anyways.
Mm-hmm. No.
Like when you go to a Dolby Cinema screening, like those have very good HDR, but the majority of other theaters do not have that.
No.
You don't have AMC laser?
Who cut this one? Who cut this movie?
Well, laser projectors are also different. Like once a laser goes out on a projector, you can't replace that shit. You have to replace the entire projector.
I was just talking about AMC's like action. If you watch that like intro they do, it's like they invented lasers.
Oh yeah.
It's like, all right, dude,
I know what you're talking about. I do want to say Claire in this, like Emmanuel Berth. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce her name, but she's beautiful in this movie. There's this French movie I saw her in. I forgot what the name is, but they use her properly.
I love that shot that they have where he like shoots somebody.
Yeah.
This.
Well, he like the fucking iPhone on his. He had the iWatch before, dude. Apple Watch.
I love watching
movies. You know what movies need?
They need fog. Look at the amount of fog. Yeah,
they need fog. Let's put some fog in the movies again.
I told y'all about how Robert Elswit, who shot like 2 or 3 of these, he was talking about how in Phantom Thread, like, oh, they're using this smoke and fog and stuff, but we would have never done it when we were working together. And I'm like, come on, it looks awesome. Okay, that's what I thought. Paul Hirsch edited this. Y'all know Paul Hirsch?
Hirsch?
Like Hirsch as in like the guy who edited like A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Is he alive?
I think he passed. Let me see.
Nope. I thought he died.
He's kicking. He's kicking. He's still alive.
He probably got it for the.
He edited Ghost Protocol
too. Probably got it for the Lucas connection.
Oh yeah, of course. He's got some solid creds. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Steel Magnolias, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Footloose, Blowout. He
Won
directed.
an Oscar for Star
He
Wars.
edited Blowout.
He edited The Mummy, Vikash.
The crappy one.
Dude.
So
Tom
I do want to
Cruise is in that
say
one.
we do
he
have to
edited
say
Lake
that
Placid, which is a G.
we do have to say that why am I forgetting her name? George Lucas,
You know,
Marcia
he edited
Lucas.
Falling Down?
She
Yeah, he
definitely
said it.
deserves her flowers when it comes to the editing of A New Hope too.
Dude, this guy edited Falling Down. This guy fucking rules. He edited Blowout. Palma makes sense.
But that's what he's great. And he did Phantom of the Paradise with De Palma, so he is De Palma's guy. He's not Lucas's guy.
Dude, he edited Mighty Joe Young with our man Bill Paxton.
There we go, Dutch angle.
That Dutch angle. Dude, look how red Tom's face is. He's been running a lot. This entire sequence is so old Hollywood. The close up on the knife with the blood. Dutch angles.
You say old Hollywood, but it's like it just feels like great filmmaking to me. Like it's timeless
That
filmmaking.
is because it was timeless filmmaking. Old Hollywood. It's timeless. You can still do it. It still works.
It's very
like 30
timeless,
years
but
ago,
also
but-
like
30 years ago, but
the way that it also like reveals information somewhere closer to the end of the second act and early third act is very much like a sign. I would say it's a trademark of like old Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Look at look at that lighting. They
Those are
obviously
dives in here
wetted.
now.
They wet down all the concrete too. Great
Oh, yeah.
reflection.
It's all the cobblestone. There's a lot of texture.
Yeah.
That's what sells the fuck out of the first like 20 minutes of this movie. Is just this entire setting.
Yeah, to me, this is by far the best.
One of the
This whole
great-
sequence is the best.
One of the great phone booth scenes. Another thing that's so movie. Phone booths are so movie, man.
That's so movie, bro.
It's
Just
so
like
movie.
phone booth. Obviously De Niro in a phone booth is awesome. You know, look at that. Y'all see the detail of the his breath on the glass of the
yeah.
Oh man.
I just got these on
It's like
4K, with the exception of 2, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, you have them individually, right? Steelbooks.
I got the first 5 on Steelbooks, with the exception of 2, because for some reason the second one is sold out. And at the same time, like I'll probably get
The
the
Barnes and
4K for it,
Noble.
but-
The Barnes and Noble by me
split diopter?
weirdly has weirdly has
Split
the fourth
diopter,
one.
yes or no?
What'd you say?
That wide of the it might have been a split diopter.
Oh, I didn't
oddly.
notice it. Sorry, I was caught up with you
Because,
guys.
No, because it's like you could see the phone booth and the background. I don't know if it's like an f-stop thing, but like you could see the background with the boat in focus too.
It might have been.
No, I was saying
I may have missed it.
the Barnes
Oh,
and Noble
this-
near me.
this
still
is
has
the
the-
scene.
this stunt apparently was pretty hard to do.
And it's real, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
Bro,
so
look at
Henry
that pressure.
Zierney,
Why is there so
This
much
man-
water tanks?
McHugh was talking about it for Dead Reckoning, that he literally was getting ADR from Henry Zierney over an iPhone, like just an iPhone recording, like a voice note. And he was like, "Oh, there's your little plug, Tim Cook."
There's a lot of movies actually that surprisingly like they'll be like, oh yeah, we used ADR, but we just shot it with our phone.
But it's like it sounds
Just go to a
great. So it's
closet.
like why I think it's better that way because it feels realer than like maybe the
A lot of it
dialogue
was
you
during
do get in a,
COVID,
you know.
too.
Yeah.
Because they'd go into their closet and just like close the door, say the lines.
Yeah, you know
Ah.
that shot in Avengers Endgame? They were just talking about it. I think Anthony Mackie said that he did it in like his pantry,
Yeah.
where he said that like I think Anthony
your
or
left or
Joe,
whatever.
one of them texted him, said like, "Hey, I need you to read these lines," and then they texted him, and then that they were at the premiere, and that's when he heard it, and he was like, "What the fuck?"
I'll tell you an example of it after we get off. I've got a good one. It's like I don't want to out the person who told me, so
Very good. You don't want to dox him.
yeah, like I don't want them to lose their job.
I mean, that's one of those things though that like I mean, me and Pat, I'm sure we've shared stories between ourselves that we probably should not.
Yeah.
No,
No, I'm saying like
I've never done that before.
No, I
We
guess
talk-
I
we
just
talk-
think that like
we don't-
we're not
we don't
talking
talk- we don't-
publicly.
bro, we
Nah.
never, and we don't
Nah.
like. There's a certain level of privacy of like, you know.
You will never
It's
know.
I've learned my
discretion.
lesson.
As long as it,
They
as
will
long
never
as it
know
doesn't
what
end
I've
up on the
said.
internet,
Y'all want to hear
like it doesn't
the
matter.
worst thing I've done ever? Is that one of the guys who's working like second AC on Force Awakens, he had shared a bunch of photos of like the behind the scenes of Star Wars. And I was like, oh, these are awesome. Let me screenshot these off of Instagram, a public Instagram, and share it to Reddit. And this is maybe a couple weeks after Force Awakens came out, and the post went off. And then Disney took it all down. It was like a whole thing.
Damn. Damn, look at these close-up Dutch angles.
Dutch angles.
Is Kenneth Branagh making this?
Have y'all seen Sharp Objects?
I have.
HBO?
When it came out, when did it come out? Like almost 9 years ago.
2018. No, a reason why is that's like the last great thing Henry Zerny was, and he's probably done some other stuff, but like that was memorable for me.
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Obviously, of course. Okay, so you see the level, like how close this shot is. You think they would do this nowadays? Like, do you think anybody like
No,
this is a
absolutely
level of
not.
confidence in filmmaking that I love. Except there's a thing where it's like
When you had,
if you do this today, it feels like you might be losing a layer of like your background. But the intensity of this conversation, the way that they employ it within this movie, is genius.
with all the fish tanks in the back. I
Yeah,
wonder what's gonna happen here.
because my problem is that I watch some movies and I'm like, y'all are in like a large landscape, but you can't see the landscape behind you to some extent, and it just feels like it's almost. I understand the intent of the scene that you want them to focus on the dialogue, but it also feels like we're losing a little bit of the sauce of like the setting itself.
Also, what happens when you actually have a filmmaker make I mean, this was a TV franchise before this, but you have him make a franchise film with his own style that he's going to do without any.
Which, I mean, we didn't know it was going to be a franchise at that point, but like he made a capital F film
popular,
with this.
Pretty popular TV show at the time when it was out.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise is a massive movie star at this point. So
yeah. And it's an interesting thing that this is where he uses his blank check, right? And it's the blank check that's been paying off. And he's the one who was like, or we'll talk about when we get to it, that he's the one who brought JJ to film. That was his debut film.
Tom Cruise has brought almost every single person into he's responsible for every single person who's involved with these movies. Like when it comes to like the big names, like he's the one who got John Woo involved.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Tom being a producer, he kind of has to understand, like, you're paying for it at the end of the day. You do have to kind of listen to the studio to an extent, but the second film had a lot of production issues with the final cut part of it. That's why there's a lot of plot holes in the second movie because was it like 3-hour runtime that he had?
But I do love the whole story of the Chimera is fantastic. So it's like I understand what you mean. Like it definitely lost some sauce, and
I'm pretty mixed on the second movie. It feels like there's a lot of production issues that we just didn't see.
My issue with the second movie is what my issue is with some of the movies from like 95 to like 2003, 2004 is that there's some very timely scores in there that just don't feel timeless. Meaning that I do love movies that feel like they feel contemporary, but that one just feels like it's a sore thumb throughout these movies. This shot right here. This shot is
same year as Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
man, De Palma, what are the best to do it? Like, come on.
But like he brought JJ in, back to your point, Pat, and then Brad Bird. I don't know how he got involved.
Same.
But then was it Ghost Protocol? McQuarrie was on the set for Ghost Protocol. He's the one that happened with the glove thing.
Didn't he get a screenwriting credit?
So what happened was Drew Pearce came on to do rewrites and try to figure out the story, and then they brought in McHugh to also help out, and then he kind of shaped the back end of the movie, and they knew where they were going, but they didn't know exactly how they were going to get there. So the mechanics and the investments within all of the story, he figured it out and got them on the right path.
A lot of what happened with that story, even though he was already going to help with it, like he's the one who came up with the stuff with the glove, with the blue is glue, red is dead, whatever.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise
And
ended up calling Drew Pierce, and within
yeah.
like an hour or two, he was like, "Cool, you're doing Rogue Nation." Like he's the
Yeah.
one who decided it, like almost immediately.
So
That is
Drew
insane.
So
Yeah,
McHugh
that's
does give a lot
great.
of credit to Drew Pierce for the work that he did on Ghost Protocol itself. He whenever he talks about it, he definitely wants to make sure people know that he has a big hand in that himself too. It's not just him doing that.
It's
And
also like
yeah,
Top Gun.
and that also what I mean after they made Ghost Protocol, they made Jack Reacher, and then when they were making Jack Reacher, that's when the conversation came up for Rogue Nation.
Nation.
And after Rogue Nation, he didn't want to do another one, and McHugh wanted to make another movie. And Tom was like, "Bro, we got a green movie. We got a go movie right now. Let's make this one." So, you know, I don't know,
It's kind of interesting to hear
five to
how they
7
talk
years
about
later.
how they're deciding what like they shape the stories around the stunts.
I mean,
Yeah. If
Well,
I
okay,
do that
so
now.
not all of them. They started doing it after 5. They said that they start doing it where like they decide what stunts they're gonna do, then they shape the story around that.
like literally with 7, he's talking about it that like Tom wanted to do this jump, and I really wanted to do a submarine thing. And when they were shooting in the forest and doing all the stunts, literally they didn't know where Tom was going. They didn't know where Ethan was going. And when they got there and they were shooting that, he was like, there's an urgency here. We're fighting something. They didn't know the entity was the villain of the story. They knew there was a villain of that sort, but they didn't know it was an entity. And they're like, you have to, like, I feel like there's an emotion here I'm seeing with you that is saying that we have to go a different way a little bit with this story. And what they do is crazy, which is like they're following emotion, trying to get somewhere, but it's crazy that they don't write the movie. Which I
The
mean,
the new one has a
they
stunt where they do like an underwater sequence too. And funny
yeah,
enough, like they're saying that they're doing it because they felt like they didn't do good enough with the 5th one. Like there's a stunt in the
yeah,
5th one that they do it.
which is crazy as it is because they had to get an Alexis 7065 if I remember to do that from Hoyta from Spectre, and they're
It took
trying to figure out how.
weeks of planning to do that scene.
And he got up to like 6 minutes with his breaths because when you get down there, you need like 2 minutes to set up the shot, and then when you're actually doing all the physical acting, it takes your breath out of you, so you have less time underwater. And then it's like there's a whole safety protocol involved with the actual like, oh, like is he acting that he's passing out? Is he not passed out? Like there's a whole. It was crazy how they pulled that off. So
Do you know who has the record right now for like the
Kate Winslet.
yeah, I was gonna
I
say
know.
it's Kate Winslet.
I know. I know.
Avatar.
Avatar.
Way of Water. We're gonna come back to it though.
What's
I
that?
got the director series.
Never seen those. Never seen a film actually. First time.
Take it
Look at
back.
that. Look at that. It's that subtle turn.
Take it back, Pat.
So this shot right here,
I'm like,
is
take it back.
this
100 meters of
little
the screen.
this little turn of camera that just happened, this little tilt, is something that they've brought. I think JJ brings it back in like in a Star Wars movie or something like that, and people have used it, but I think this is the first time I've seen them do it.
He's alive.
Another
He's-
Dutch angle.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dutch angles in this movie.
This one's subtle.
It's subtle, but it's still
The
it's
the
still
two
an
shot,
angle.
like the Tom one. Okay, now it's not so subtle, right?
Yeah.
But see that's the thing. Once you go into a Dutch angle, it automatically adds attention to it. So I 100% understand why he did it. But then you have
it
to throw it
depends
to
on
like
the context of the shot though, because there are some movies that like
have
I
you
would
seen Murder
say-
on the Orient? Yeah, y'all have seen Murder on the Orient Express,
I
the 2017
Branagh.
one, not the
Branagh-
goated
Branagh
Sidney
loves-
Lumet one.
Yes. It's funny that you
Branagh
say that though, because
loves-
Kenneth Branagh did that movie, and he also did another movie where he uses Dutch angles, and it's way too much.
Wait, is it not the
Branagh
Murder on the
loves
Orient
Dutch
Express?
He did all 3 of those.
He did all
From
3 of
the
those.
Nile and
Yes,
the
but there's another
Tennis-
film that Kenneth Branagh did, Vikash, that I'm talking about, and I think you know exactly which one it is.
Belfast.
No,
Belfast,
was
I
it
think Belfast is pretty
was it not
straightforward.
Murder that had the Dutch angles? Maybe I'm mixing it all together.
It might be, but what I'm
Okay.
saying is that there might be another one, and I know that there's another one. It
Oh,
might
you're
be the same
talking
one we're
about Artemis Fowl?
No, we're talking
Or are you
about
talking about Henry
fucking
V or Frankenstein? I don't know which one you're talking about.
Thor
Oh,
2011.
Thor. That's what it is.
Thor.
That's what it is. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Look
you're
up
right. That's what it
if
is.
you just look up Thor cinematography from 2011, every single picture is just at an angle. It is insane.
Nice.
The entire
Hey,
movie
at
is
least
like
at least
that.
they had style back then. At least they were trying to do something.
Who did? The reason why he probably did it was because he knew he had nothing to work with, so he was just trying to push it. And I mean, it's an easy, no, not saying it's a cop out, but I'm just saying it's an easy, you know, physical, visual thing to do with the camera.
Are you talking about Thor?
Yeah.
I don't find that to be like very compelling though. Like here,
Oh no, it's not.
here,
That's what I'm saying. It's a cop out. It feels like a cop out. It's just like, oh, we need to add something to the visual style of this movie, so we're doing Dutch angles. This right here, it's like we have a spy story.
Heard you,
There's a
Pat.
lot of turncoat stuff. There's a lot of intensity. What's going on?
I said I think
I
Kenneth,
like it.
I think I know I said I think Kenneth Branagh just really likes Dutch angles, guys. He does it in every single movie. I don't know what to tell you.
I
Which
just
even
really
in-
like
because
it.
even
I just
in
really
Cha-
like it.
Even in the Chamber of Secrets, he's shot as a Dutch angle in like half of the movie. He probably was like, just shoot me this fucking way.
I don't think it's the whole movie though. Like
Apparently,
this one,
I gotta
it's a lot of the
rewatch Chamber of
scenes where there's a little
Secrets.
bit more paranoia between the characters, and there's a little bit more like.
Well, yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
say-
I think there's
Tension.
a difference in De Palma level and Kenneth. I love Kenneth Branagh, but he's just a Shakespeare guy. But there's
I've
difference
not
Yeah.
seen his
Palma
Hamlet
directing.
movie. Is there a lot of Dutch angles in it?
Which one?
He
No,
did a Hamlet movie, didn't he?
he's done
Hamlet?
a Henry the Fifth
Or
movie.
Henry
He's done a lot of
V.
Shakespeare. He did a Hamlet
Okay,
too.
so whatever.
He did Much Ado About.
Did
No,
Much Ado About
I don't know if he
Nothing.
did Much Ado
Yeah,
About Nothing.
Much Ado
Did
with
he do a Hamlet movie
Denzel.
too?
He did Much Ado with Denzel and
Keanu.
Keanu.
Yeah.
Do
No,
those
I don't know if
movies
he
have like
directed it.
hella Dutch angles as well, or no?
On the top of my head, I don't really remember, but I'm sure there's some Dutch angles.
Frankenstein that he did. Do y'all know he did a Frankenstein with De Niro, right?
I think
Like
everyone tries to
92.
forget that movie.
I did too. But
For
there
some reason,
are.
I was thinking of that I Frankenstein with what's his face, Aaron Eckhart.
Fucking
Yeah.
Aaron Eckhart, yeah.
I was excited for I Frankenstein, bro.
Dude, I saw
I
the
was
poster
not.
for that movie and I was like, this looks so fire. And it was so bad. I was like 15 years old.
Yo, book a job. Nice. I need a job. Nice. You've got mail.
I feel like I gotta say it. You know it's Job, right?
Book a
What'd you say?
job.
Please tell me you know it's
Job,
Job.
yeah.
I do. I was just saying,
Imagine that he
it
gets
looks
an
like
email and
this
it's just
book-
he gets an email, it's just an email from Pat about the Zoom meeting.
Hey, do you want to book a job? I told you, it's the first time I've ever seen this movie.
I do like that this movie, besides obviously the Langley stuff, that it is set in Europe.
Dude, we need more movies with Swedes with long hair. Like this.
I do
like
love
this guy.
the detail that in the long Dutch haired guy in Die Hard was actually like from like Barishnikov's like ballet company or something. Like he's actually
I like that they use a lot of POVs in this too.
They do.
You know what it reminds me of? It feels like
This movie has such a distinct style.
like,
is the thing.
it's like a game, like a video game.
I mean, even the second one has a very distinct style because it just randomly goes into.
They
John
all
Woo
have
mode.
style. they all have style. That's the thing.
The second movie has such a distinct style to it, but like it feels like the longest thing ever when you're watching it. The second
yeah.
back half really picks up, but the first half, oh
Dude,
my god.
I know we're gonna watch it after this, but that fight sequence at the end just lasts for so long, and I'm like, dude, this isn't way too long of a fight sequence when they're just fighting in the sand, and that's when he kicks the gun up in the sand. And
You know I'm
can't-
still salty, right? That Martin said that he didn't like Face Off. I really love Face Off, man.
I don't hate Face Off. I just think that movie is. There's a point where it gets too goofy for me, and I check out,
Oh.
and I want to
I mean,
have
for
fun
me,
with
it's like you either embrace it or you don't, which
That's
I
Redgrave.
understand, but I embrace it. Vanessa Redgrave right here.
Here's the thing, though, is I can
kinda
easily
his style,
embrace. There are some movies I can easily embrace, like a number of like ideas and concepts. Like I can easily get past like the concept of like something being absurdly like ridiculous.
Yeah, because it's like from the jump, like the whole thing with Nick Cage, like groping somebody at the beginning of the movie, and he's Castor is just like straight up a maniac. Like it sells the whole movie, and I don't know. I like
I
it.
feel like I'm very forgiving with movies. Like I went to go see Aggro Drift, a movie that's entirely shot in infrared, and it felt like it was 5 hours long, and I still chose to
I had to
watch
turn
it
it
again.
off. I had to turn it
That's
off.
what I'm saying,
I watched
though.
it. I watched it in pieces, but like, I understand. Like, Harmony's always trying to do something interesting. He's like, I'm not trying to tell narrative. It doesn't feel like he's ever trying to tell like just like a straight up narrative story, which I love. That's
No.
my bread and
But
butter. But like,
also,
I
like,
love seeing work like his work. Some of the stuff that Malik had done, and it's
he's
just like
trying
we're here
different
for some.
things.
We're
And I
here for
think
an experimentation. Yeah, exactly.
John Woo is doing something different with two, and it's refreshing to see he's trying something different, but it just doesn't work for me as well. And the same thing with Face Off. Like Face Off has a good idea at its core, and it's a fun movie. But I don't think I'd pop on Face Off to be like, I want to watch a good movie. I'm watching Face Off if I want to get drunk and hang out with friends.
I only ever
But
watch
exactly,
two.
that's what I'm saying. That's the merit of the movie.
I only ever watch two if I'm rewatching the entire franchise. I don't go out of my way to watch Mission Impossible 2.
Even the last
I
time I
was
watched
saying
all of these, I
even
skipped two.
I rewatched 2 yesterday. I had it at 3.5, and I was like, "What are you doing, Pat? Bump this down to 3." So I bumped it down to 3.
It's a rough watch. Like
I think
this.
You're right. The second half really drags in that movie.
It's boldly uneven because it's like you see the genius of John
It's
Woo.
really weighted in certain parts. Like there's some parts that really work, but then there's some parts that are just like, why?
Yeah, the story just doesn't make any sense.
We're what? Like an hour in, 45 in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This just zooms by, bro.
And we're finally like the Nautilus finally comes into play.
This is the shortest one. This is the shortest one.
But see, that's the thing. Like, you can make a capital M movie, a capital M film, and you're out of there. You don't need 10 episodes to tell a story, and we'll never not have stories that you can't tell fast, in my opinion. And we live in an era where like the runtime is an issue. Whether it's it's fine if it's 10 hours for a show, but people are going to complain if it's 3 or 4 hours in the theater. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't know, our culture is shifting. Streaming has become big and everything else in between. So it's like we live in an interesting place where it's like someone like Tony Gilroy, who made Michael Clayton, has to go to Andor. He gets a $600 million to make a show, and it's essentially great character work, but it's under the guise of a franchise, and it has to be 12 hours. So I mean, it's all interesting.
This movie also relies heavily on this technology that they're using being believable. And it does.
It's like 20, 30 years old.
30 years old. But it's like at the time you'd be like, this is incredible. Like they changed a face. Like that's so fucking cool.
It's still like doing it.
Who said it's not cool anymore? Who said it's not cool anymore?
Like this, like, and you could see like the camera on his watch. Like that's just, you're like, holy shit, this is fucking sick.
I don't think it's not that it's not cool anymore, but they are much more sparingly used compared to how much more we possibly could do something like this good. Like if you think about, was it Fallout? There's that line where like Henry Cavill realizes he's like, the IMF is just a bunch of adults in Halloween masks.
Yeah.
And it's like the one time in the movie where like it's used effectively and it's used to like do a plot twist. And it's like they did the same thing with 2. But with 2, it was so predictable because it was just like the whole movie was just doing that.
And then what Brad Bird did was like, okay, let's have all this tech. And it probably is McQuarrie and Drew Pearce there too. That let's have all the tech just fail. Everything fails. Oh, he has to go scan his face on the side of the train. Okay, let's make this thrilling. Let the mask not work. Let the glove not work. Let everything not work. Yo, straight up, isn't this get up right here with Henry Czerny from Les Samurai?
I was gonna say Les Samurai.
This guy's in a lot of shit. He's in Saving Private Ryan. He's in the beginning when they read that Lincoln letter.
I didn't realize
he's like a military guy. He's an Entourage. He's an episode of Entourage.
So is this the lighting? Is it the makeup? Why is everybody so orange in this movie? I love it. I'm just asking. What do you think it is?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Both.
Okay.
I don't see anyone as orange. I feel like everyone's got pretty good skin tones.
Yeah, I might want to check your.
It's definitely like a lot more like on the redder side. I think is what you mean. Like they don't look as pale, but it's also it's a combination of makeup, lighting, and I think the film.
Well, I could see it there. Yeah, kind of.
It's the film. It has to. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. They made I think 5 perf Actichrome for the first time for Sinners.
Yeah, I saw
They're
that.
talking about that. I was like, whoa.
I hate this rear projection technology that they use for this shot.
It's
It
odd.
drives me nuts. It looks so weird.
Is it
That's
because
weird.
it's supposed to be like a tint?
No, it's just I think it's too dark. You're in the middle of the day, and I get that it's like a
Yeah.
nice car.
It looks like he's fucking flying down the road too.
Look at how fast that thing's
He's all
going.
over the place.
You know,
I
my problem
pointed
is,
this exact thing out
anything.
too when
Yeah.
Avery and I watched it. Like it looks
you know what
ridiculous.
the problem is? You know what the problem
It does
is? It's
look
not the
pretty bad.
projection.
The
It's
light
the
doesn't
lighting.
match their face.
It's the lighting,
Yeah.
yeah.
The lighting, it just looks like they soft
And then look at the
lit.
back of the like. It looks like it's just moving.
Yeah.
And they're shaking the car.
It's like it's too dark. You can't like
The
fucking
car is shaking too much. The
And
light
you know what?
doesn't
harder in the
match.
day.
You know what the
yeah.
crazy thing is? We're complaining about this, but I'll take this any day over some
Oh, yeah.
overlit, thing. What do you think about the new LEDs what do you call them? Like
The volume.
outside productions.
The
I mean,
volumes.
essentially the volume, but they're using it for car scenes now. They use it in a lot of shows now, some movies.
Fincher
And
used it a lot.
Fincher and Mank, that was fantastic. But everything else, it's like there's like a frame rate or something with those screens where it's like it's just automatically noticeable.
I know what you're talking about. The frame rate doesn't match, so the light shutters.
Mhm.
It
Okay,
flickers.
that's what it
It
is.
looks like it flickers, is what it is. Yeah. When
Yeah.
you have LED lights on in front of a camera, even
Yeah.
like cars, it's kind of hard to shoot them because of the way that the light frequency works. But
Yeah.
the
I know
frame
what you're
rate on
talking
the
about.
camera when it's shooting it has to be set at a certain point, and if all the LEDs, I've never done it myself with LEDs, so I don't know with like the big ones. So I would imagine it's probably something to do with that.
Okay. I do like that how this whole movie really is just a whole act of cat and mouse and one person really trying to screw over another person, and it's a bona fide spy movie which they've really never made again, which they never needed to, right? Because it was very chat.
Oh, here we
It
go.
grew into more like cape shit. Like it just grew into more fun stuff that's spy stuff, but it's also
seems very-
my man Ving Rhames, let's go.
Ving Rhames,
My man, oh John Reno too. He's
Ethan.
fire this.
If Vings is in,
We
besides
have the
Tom,
meats.
he's in all of them. Yeah, he's the only one in all of them besides Tom, right? Yeah.
Yo, if they
Yeah.
kill Ving Rhames, I'm gonna be pissed. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be crying in the theater.
What's
I'm
his
gonna be
name?
crying.
Leon, the professional.
Yeah. We don't talk about
hard
that
as
director,
fucking
but I
this too,
love
bro.
that movie's fire. And is he not in Ronin
Hassan.
also?
What'd you say?
He is
He's,
in Ronin. Yeah.
Yeah. John Reno. He's also in he's in some other movies too. I think he's quite funny guy too. And he definitely has the sauce.
Added
He
a
has this
melodramatic tint to her shot.
so that's something they also do in India, where it's like especially in songs, like when it comes to the woman, like the female actress, they
Again,
typically
it's old
have
school.
those, yeah,
Old school filmmaking.
and they'll use a
Shout out to
specific lens
female,
for her
yeah.
too. They'll have a shorter f stop, and then they'll kind of put like, or it'll be like they'll have like star lenses and stuff like that, like specific lenses where it kind of highlights features or it makes it softer, or you see multiple like it's almost like a trippy vision of them. People used to try when they made movies, man. They still do, but
I was saying, he's like, even though the problems I have with two, like you were saying, it's at least it tried something different than like movies you see today. It's like that just churn out the same IP looking shit.
Tom
They all
Cruise.
say-
I mean, he's the one that chose John Woo specifically for two.
and
Because
that's
he
the
said
thing.
that
If
he
we never
wanted
had
each
two, we never
film-
have a three.
He said that he wanted doves.
He wanted every film to be directed by somebody different and each one to
Yeah.
feel like a different episode. And like I get it, but at the
Wow,
same time,
Tom,
like
you
McQuarrie's
lied.
been doing the last like 3 or 4 dudes. So
Yeah,
which
you
one?
liar.
You're a liar and a thief.
Which I think so what
Liar.
happens is even so 2015 Rogue Nation is what McQuarrie wanted to do, and then he went in a different direction with the next one, and then with Rogue Nation or with Dead Reckoning, he was like, I finally understand how to make movies, and I can finally plan and make something different with all these things, like with all the different like tools I have in the back. And I'm like, you've been making movies a long time to finally feel that confident. But it's like, that's what it is
But he
as
wasn't
an
making the same
artist.
kinds of movies as like Mission Impossible. Like if you look at his filmography, like what was it? The Usual Suspects is nowhere near the kind of movie that you're getting.
Yeah,
having to
Way the
plan
Gun
for
was his
stuff like
first
McQuarrie.
directorial movie.
Mm.
Which even like Way the Gun is compelling. Y'all would enjoy it.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
We're gonna do a little magic. I like how they brought this man back.
Yeah, I was about to say, I love how they're bringing this guy back. He's got a beard. That's how you know that time has passed.
He had a 12-year break between The Way of the Gun and Jack Reacher, and then he has done nothing but Mission Impossible after that. He got a lot more writing credits.
Got put in director jail after that, and then he's got a lot of writing credits we don't even know about.
He has a writing credit for actually one of them that I want to mention because it makes sense that he was in contact with Tom Cruise, but Valkyrie. He
was on set for Valkyrie.
Jack the Giant Slayer screenplay by, Edge of Tomorrow screenplay by, The Mummy screenplay by.
Let's talk about the ending of Valkyrie real quick. Spoilers for anybody if you don't know history, but the fact that the tension that the fact that he wrote the scene at the bunker. I haven't seen this movie since 2007, but I remember it that at the bunker, like there's a bomb, it blows up,
2008.
And
yeah, we like the camera was good.
I'm dead there. So yeah, there's a bunker, there's a bomb, there's a bunch of Nazis in there, Hitler's in there, and the bomb is supposed to explode, and there's a whole tension behind the scene that we don't know if Hitler actually got killed or not. And Tom and McHugh are fighting that like this, like people are gonna know that he's not dead, this and that. He's like, nah, hold my beer. I'm telling you, this is gonna work. And obviously it does work, and the tension there is fantastic because in that moment you're not thinking about what's going on like real life. Like you think that they might have actually gotten him. You're invested within the character story. I forgot his name.
I would hope that people know that Hitler was a loser and a coward and he killed himself.
Exactly. And they did like
I forgot his name.
What do y'all think about Valkyrie? I really enjoyed that movie.
It's a pretty good movie. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I think I own the Blu-ray of that. But it was maybe it might have possibly printed at that plant in Pennsylvania, so I don't know. It might not work anymore.
Dang.
Done.
I think my Disturbia was printed there. It doesn't work. It stops halfway through.
Another great movie. Like that's how you update a classic.
So be prepared, anyone listening. 2006 to 2008, a Warner Brothers DVD or Blu-ray might not work anymore. And they're doing nothing to replace them. Criterion's is replacing their disc from 2010 that don't work anymore. They said, yeah, just take a picture of the front and back. Send us your address. And some people have said that they've even upgraded them to like 4K for them. That's a good company.
Don't they use this sort of gag in Ocean's 11?
The firefighter gag?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember which one. I think there is one.
11 or 12? It's 11, I think.
It's 11.
I think it's 11, but I could be wrong.
It is 11. It's at the end. They bring them in.
I've seen it.
I've seen it too many times.
I watched Mission Impossible and I liked it. That's what I was told.
Shout out to movies that have giant screens with people's faces on them. Gotta be one of my favorite genres for real.
This is him. Who do you think is the guys that like set up all those like, all right, he's up all night. I got a presentation tomorrow. I gotta put this on the big screen. Gotta find these faces.
You can just airplay to those.
Yeah.
Like you just show up one day, you're like, how do I play Avatar on this fucking thing? On this massive screen.
Your head of security, you're just leaning back in your chair watching Avatar.
We've done installs for like home theaters that have like those four like screens that have 4 TVs put together, and
I'm gonna be honest,
they don't look good. They never look good.
It would annoy me so much. Like
the lines in the middle of the screen drive me nuts.
Unless I was like a degenerate gambler watching sports all day, I don't need a 4-screen TV.
Here's the thing with those is that like I always end up telling people like just get a projector and a giant screen because it always ends up sucking.
There's diopter on that close up there.
Look at that shot. Look at the composition of that shot.
Diopter there. There's one right there. That's gotta
Yeah,
be a
yeah,
diopter.
yeah, yeah. It has to be.
It's clean too because you don't see the line.
I think I'm ahead of you.
He's done too many in his career, man.
You're talking about De Palma?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of, was it Blowout? That one's got a lot of split diopter shots too.
Yeah.
And there's one shot too where I was watching it, and funny enough, I was talking to Avery about this as we were watching it, and she's the one who pointed it out. But there's one later that's really good, and you don't notice it because the line is somewhere that's really like the focus line. It's in a really specific spot, and it's really hard to notice it if you're not paying attention.
It's Pat just rewatched it. The Dahlberg Cole on All the President's Men.
Yeah,
there's a very fine line where they do it.
There's so many good ones.
It's awesome.
They do one in the phone booth there. It's fucking so good.
There's one in when they're in like this little like air duct scene where I don't remember his name, but Leon, the professional, is like fighting to hold on the rope. Leon, the professional, is holding onto the rope, and you can see the rat behind him, and it looks really good.
I'm the opposite.
That's how I know him. My dad grew up.
Names. You say character names. I'll say the actor name. I don't know the character. I don't know.
I forget his name. Is it John Reno?
I know Ethan Hunt, but I think it's Jean Reno. Right?
But here's the thing: is I would say like if I was talking about Ethan's character, I'd be like either Tom Cruise or Ethan Hunt, or even in the movie like Maverick, I'd be like, oh yeah, Maverick's character. But that is a character that I only recognize because of Leon the Professional. I forget what other movies he's in, but he's a good actor. Other people you guys have heard me like talk about, and I'm like, I'm really good with names, but that guy for some reason, he's just one of those guys that's Leon the Professional now.
It's Leon the Professional.
What millimeter lens are they using in these shots in these shafts? I mean,
they got to be really tight lenses.
Yeah, they look fantastic, and I've seen like I feel like a modern take of it would be to use like a really wild like a 12 or 14 like a really wide lens.
Yeah, but
I don't think you need to.
If you use such a wide lens, then it looks like there's more space than there is. Like I want them to feel like there's like less space, like more claustrophobia.
They're probably using like
you want Terrence Malick in that vent. He'd be like, let's go.
They're probably using something between a 50 and 100.
And it take
you know what's funny?
Fucking 3 years to edit it.
Have y'all heard about like
it'll edit Cruz out of the vent. Actually,
he makes him think he's the star.
Is just the rat. It's just the rat at the end.
It's actually about a rat. Actually,
the rat's actually the story.
Oh, that's good.
Look at that lighting, man. You know what the lighting of this actually reminds me of? It's a movie that I think came out the same. When did Batman and Robin come out?
96, 97.
Okay.
All right. Guess again. Let's see, guys. I said 98.
97.
97.
I'm wrong.
Damn.
Is it?
Yeah, 97.
It is 97. Okay. I was closer.
The lighting in Batman and Robin is fantastic. I just said 96. I said it appropriately for that one.
I can't wait to watch this on the video on YouTube and just have you do that again.
Every time, every 20 minutes, just
look at the camera and go.
This is how you.
This is the most stressful scene in the whole movie, and we're just sitting here laughing.
Dude, this entire scene relies on him to be holding Ethan up. Like,
my problem is that
so much work here.
I feel like they could make the same scene today. Oh, look at the lighting on his gloves. That's fantastic. Lighting on the wire. That is fantastic.
That's tough to get right, especially with it being that dark in there.
And shooting on film on top of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I will say though that like I would imagine that watching this in a movie theater was probably like a really
amazing,
like not even just an experience, but like that scene. Like you ever watch a movie in a theater where it's like dead silent and it's like a really intense scene and everyone's like kind of on the same page. Like if you talk, you're ruining this.
You can feel everybody's collective like butts, like just stares just sucked up.
Like it's been a while since I've seen this, but when I rewatched this like a week or two ago, man, like it holds up.
It's all in the editing.
It's the editing. It's it's everything.
Your tension of you're like he's about to come in here.
2 doesn't have a single scene like this.
I think this is his most tension-filled movie. This is his most thrilling movie to me when it comes to De Palma, and I think he's got great thrills throughout his
Blowout's
movies.
right there, bro. Blowout is right
This
there,
is more
boss.
compelling to me than Blowout, and I do love
I think
Blowout.
Blowout's a better movie, but this is just as good.
Because the thing is, like, I don't know, there's a little, like a tad bit of Blowout that ages for me, and it's not a discount to the movies.
Too. Oh no.
Is it?
No, it's not, because he walks right under him. You would have noticed it if it was. I want to say that if you can't see them cross the line, then it becomes like it's. That's just a really good f-stop, is all it is.
That's exactly. That's why I'm like you worry about f-stops and all this stuff, and
he's just a really good filmmaker.
Yeah. This guy knows what he's fucking doing. There you go. I'm like a couple seconds ahead of you, but there's a fucking great one. When they're sitting down.
Oh yeah, that's one right there. And you can see the line of the light too. There's like one giant piece of light that like goes from in focus to out of focus.
Yeah. I think that's what I noticed in the rewatch. I was just like, damn, there's so many fucking diopter shots in here.
What I'm saying is that I'm like in my head right now, like reason why I'm being so silent is like I'm seeing them in my head making the same movie today and not doing it correctly. Like you could have the same elements, just add like most people in general. Sean Levy.
Sean Levy is nowhere in the same league as Brian De Palma, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's not even trying to make the same.
I think the person that they gave $100 million to make this.
I think he's saying that they would make Sean Levy like try and do this. I think that's what he's trying.
Yeah,
to say. He couldn't do this if he wanted to.
Because like, even if you tried to use the same shots and everything, I don't think they could get this magic again.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, this is the most iconic scene.
And y'all, like, sometimes I'm like, am I romanticizing like the movies we're watching? But I'm like, it's just like the movies. See, it doesn't. In my opinion, it always is that. I think you can recognize great work. You don't need a degree to recognize great work, right? And
I think it's not a degree. It's just you either know it or you don't.
Exactly.
You have good eyeballs.
But we've got so many people just used to like just mediocre work that they think that anything is good now. That like fans are Netflix good.
Yeah, but that's something on Netflix in the background, and that's your.
But the problem is that we're curating a level of like heavy dialogue based work in streaming and TV that is enabling a behavior that is crossing over into film that doesn't need to be there, because films have never been about heavy dialogue. So obviously there's certain movies that have heavy dialogue, but like this is a medium. Like film is a medium that never needed a ton of dialogue.
Oh, here comes the rat.
So look at that shot right there. They're probably using like 100-something lens. That shot with John Rito.
Mm-hmm. I feel like today,
favorite things about
if they made this scene today, they would be adding music in here. There needs to be music in here.
And that's some of the best stuff.
The silence is what sells the scene.
That drop off.
Here you go.
Look at that focus. Let's go.
That rat.
The rat focus to the rat.
There's another shot that we were talking about, like the split diopter shot where he gets really close and you can see the rat in him in focus. It's really good.
Yeah.
What is that in his mouth? What kind of disc is that?
Good old floppies.
Good old floppies.
And the funny part is like how much memory I have.
It's like
about 20 sitting right there behind me. Not even 10. I've got a few. Yeah, most of mine are 5. Not that much. I didn't have enough money for those growing up.
There he is. Look at that.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. That's sick. With a fucking rat. A diopter shot with a rat. Hell yes.
We want bold and confident filmmaking.
Fucking The Departed.
I can get the rat. He's gonna do it my way.
See, that's the thing. They establish a shot. They do like a tracking shot of the gloves and the rope beforehand to establish that to the tension of this right here.
Oof,
right?
There it is. Iconic.
That's why it's like the details matter because you're building the tension to this. And it's like if you don't build attention, you just show
The
them why
fucking rat.
randomly.
The rat's fucking. He literally just killed the rat. Like that's they didn't even show it. He
It
just
looks
killed
like a
off
fake
screen.
rat too. It doesn't look real.
He just killed it off screen.
I think the rat like standing static and like it's like just like post-mortem death.
Yeah. I love that they're bringing this guy back. Like,
Yeah.
do you think they're gonna make him throw up?
It's
again?
it's
Look
pretty
at that
quick too.
zoom.
Like he's in the trailer.
Look at
and
that zoom.
Oof.
Do you guys know what they use for like little shots like that with water?
What?
I'll let you take a
Glycerin?
guess. It's sometimes it's a mix of different things, but like I'll let you take a guess what it usually is.
Glycerin?
You probably
Like
use it to,
something
like-
thicker?
Would you say, Pat?
I was gonna say something like that to make it,
So
I guess, not move as fast.
I don't know what they use for that specifically. I would imagine it's probably something like glycerin for maybe like a single drop. But in movies, whenever you see them like all wet and stuff from like being outside, they usually use like lube.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Makes sense.
They put lube like on like
They
their
pay-
necks,
they-
on their face.
the,
So it looks like it's like they're just in the rain.
Sweat.
The
Yeah.
insert of
Yeah,
the
sweat's the big
gloves.
one.
How many shots have we had of these gloves? I'm obsessing about these gloves today.
The rat changed positions. Did you see that with the dead
Yeah.
rat?
Yeah.
So that means that he grabbed the rat and he moved it. Like he wanted to make sure it was dead.
I think just the script supervisor is not paying attention.
Continuity.
We did
And
it,
who-
guys. Nice.
I think the rule when it comes to writing is always like, if it can go wrong, let it go wrong. And
Oh shit!
Not the knife.
The CGI knife looks good
It's coming
though.
back. Looks good.
Is
First
it?
time, yeah, 1998.
Is it?
Coming back, yeah.
I think it was CGI until they dropped.
okay, yeah, like the last shot, like in the
last
middle,
shot
it
was
did look good.
yeah. The
But
middle
you-
was CGI. Here's your
Looks
shot
fantastic.
from the trailer. They added this in the new trailer.
Yeah, they had
Dive
the
right
knife
Knife
there.
there.
comes back, yeah.
Dive to right
Because
there,
I-
and then
Yep. Because I think he gets sent to Alaska because of this whole thing, and he's just been there since this
I
movie.
can't wait to see this guy, full beard and everything.
dude,
He
I
looks
hope joins
elegant
the
in the
fucking-
new
I hope he
movie.
joins the fucking team. That's what I hope. He joins the fucking team.
Because I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to think about the new movie because it's like,
Yeah,
why are
do.
you going to try to figure out
lie.
a new movie? No, I don't. Genuinely, I don't. Because it's like every time I try to figure out a movie, and
Well,
the
I'm
movie's
getting
not
fired.
that.
It's not about like figuring out a new movie though.
It is
Just
for
being
me.
excited for it.
My problem
I'm
is
just
like,
excited for it. I'm ready for whatever they give me.
that's why like I'm excited, no doubt. But it's like after that, I'm not trying to like.
If you hate movies,
thinking
Vikash, you
about
can
it.
just say it.
Nah,
You hate
it's just the way my
cinema.
brain works.
If you just
where
hate
it's like,
cinema, dude, just say it.
Yeah, bro. Why are you even here?
Why do you hate movie? This
That's
shot
so
with him in
good.
the this
That's
shot
so
with him in
not
the truck. They would
yeah,
have cut it.
Yeah,
They would have cut it now.
bro. He's all over the road.
that's a what do you call it? That's a projection, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't look very. Oh, look at that. Oof. Look at that.
Oh, bro!
Wait,
This
This is the one I was talking
wait.
about.
Wait,
That is fucking clean.
wait.
Damn. I gotta.
You know how
post
hard
this.
that is to
What?
pull off?
That
But
is
do you
fucking
see how
clean.
stacked the frame is? Like,
Here's the thing. Because I think
wow.
that image is cropped too. Because where that
is fucking
diopter is,
clean.
yeah,
it would have had to go. That image would have had to go out further. So that was strategically planned. Like they were going to crop that image from the very beginning,
That's fucking.
But it's
where
like,
he's in the corner
how-
by himself.
That's the
it's
best
like-
shot of the movie.
they did one shot. I think that's the genius of the split diopter is that you can tell a lot of information within one shot and do it effectively. So it's like it might take setup, but like the execution is just like, okay, let's just run this real quick. We're good to go. Let's go.
You know what's funny about the shot with Ethan on the computer too, and John Reno in the other room?
Mm.
He probably can't even see through that door. It's just
Yeah.
framed in a way where it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like he can.
Looks like he's looking
He's
at
talking
him.
to a
He
wall.
can't.
Well,
He can't.
nowadays they'd want to cut there. They'd be like, no, you're not going to pan back and forth. Just cut it.
That's my problem. Is that like
Yeah.
sometimes I watch a movie. Not sometimes. A
Yeah,
lot
you're
of
right.
times
The
I'll
door
watch a
Camera has a
movie.
lot of life to it. Did you see how he had
He
to
was
get
not-
up and go around the door?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
not looking.
He
The-
was not
the
looking
desk-
at him.
The desk is 2 feet away. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. It's all about
Actually,
perspective.
not even 2 feet. There's a whole pillar in front of him.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little part
Yeah,
of the
it's
wall.
right there. It's like it blends in with the wall.
Yeah. I thought it was part of the wall for a second.
Right?
That's how you-
But
so
then
you
we-
use it,
and the
then
camera
we
moves.
parallax.
And you just,
Then we
you're seeing the whole
parallax.
thing
Yeah.
now, yeah.
It's like 3 different shots all in one that just don't cut. I mean,
And
they
then,
cut it, but
she
they cut
comes
back
in
and
from the
forth. My
back.
point is that like they got 3 of those shots with 1 camera move.
You just like don't do these camera movements anymore. They don't use I would say they don't use sets like that anymore. It's all just cut. We'll have a shot of him turning his head
But
out the window. like
That's my
this.
problem is that like they're making movies that are almost too grand to the point where it's like you don't even get to enjoy a set.
Yeah.
You see how the camera moves
Again-
back and forth?
Again, I keep saying it. This is old Hollywood. This is classic Hollywood.
The camera
You
going
use
back and forth with John
things.
Rito, where it's like this level of paranoia. So like all the stuff with Ethan Hunt towards the beginning of the movie with the Dutch angles and everything being kind of like paranoia
He
in a
kinda stopped
level
doing
is
that.
all from his perspective. And then all the stuff with John Rito where he's like thinking that he has the upper hand. The camera just slightly moves in like this, like, oh, right there again. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where like he realizes like he's no longer in control.
Mhm.
I have the dialogue turned down pretty low right now because I've seen this movie so many times. That's why it really is a visual study for me this time around. And it's like you can watch something 10 times, and if it's great, you'll find, a layer that you probably have seen, but you see it in a different light depending on what day you're watching it.
He kind of hasn't done a Dutch angle in a bit. And then I say that and it's right there.
It's an overhead Dutch angle though. It's different. It's used sparingly.
Wow, he dropped the Holy Bible on the day the Pope died? How dare you?
Conclave.
Kind of crazy that JD Vance killed the Pope.
Bro, I slept randomly laughing at work today, being like, he died after that interaction. That's fucking hilarious. Like,
He just couldn't do it anymore. He's like, I don't want to pretend. He's like, they're gonna ask me about it. I gotta say something.
bro hated him so much.
He
that
died with the
really
ultimate test.
Bro hated him. Someone's like, he touched his hand
But
and saw the Antichrist.
No, but it's like it's a genuine thing where it's like that level of stress can kill you. So it wouldn't be surprising, honestly. I'm not.
He had a
JD
stroke.
Vance
He had a
JD Vance
stroke
is
and it put him in a
never-
coma, and then that killed him.
JD Vance
And my
is never
problem
gonna
is
live
that
down. He's gonna be that
we
meme
live-
forever.
We live in a time where people are parading as religious people, and they're obviously just using religion as they use a lot of other different belief systems
religion to
to
hide behind.
do
their
really bad
evil.
things. So
Use
it's
religion
like-
to hide behind evil.
to use religion as a system to enact their evil,
But you're then saying
Which
it's
is
part of
like-
my religion.
which is like the worst thing that you can do. And
Speaking
there's
of
people that
Scientology.
say there's people exactly, and there's people who believe in this world that Trump is my like savior. He's a coming of Jesus, and he believes in Jesus and this and that. And I'm like, go ask the Pope what he thought. He would have told you like, no, this don't. And you don't need the Pope to tell you that. Anybody can see that if you
I
thought about it
think
for
the
2
Pope-
seconds.
I think the Pope just told us.
The Pope came with his diss track. He's like, no, I'm done with this. Peace, deuces.
Dude, I'm
Ethan.
on the Ethan religion. Ethan. I'm gonna say Ethan. like
Scientology.
Nah,
I was
just
talking about
Ethan.
Scientology today at work, actually.
Dude, just in
Bro,
LA.
we don't need to
We can
give
go to
L.
this-
Ron
we can-
Hubbard his.
We can go to the Scientology building if you want. Just hang out.
Let's go visit.
Where's
Let's go hang out.
Tom at?
Yeah, this is going for them.
Where's Shelly at?
That's what I was about to say.
Where's
Good old Shelly.
Where's
Miscavige.
Shelly?
Where's Shelly?
They stole the samples.
When is the last time you saw Bin Laden?
Wrong spy movie, guys.
Jason Clarke, man. Like I said, I'm a fan.
It's
Did you ever watch
surprising Jason
Oppenheimer?
Clarke isn't in any of these movies.
Kills it. And I think he'd be
Right.
perfect for these.
Jason Clarke would be amazing. You know what Jason needs to do? He needs to play a villain in a Bond movie. Honestly, like, come on, just let him rip, rip a crazy him and Paul Giamatti. Just let him rip a crazy one. Just be
Have them play brothers.
unhinged. Look at that blue.
I've noticed that a lot of the pans also like that pan right there where it like panned up to Claire. Like it's just purely for us to kind of like switch transitions to like perspective.
And the
Like for like
pacing
half
of
a
the pan
second,
itself.
yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah. And this is where you flip the movie, right? This is exactly where the flip of the movie comes.
I think that's just the movies are missing now. It's just like these landline phone calls.
Because there's an
Landline.
intensity
Now it's all
behind
cell
it.
phones.
But see, that's the thing. I say
Landline.
there's an intensity behind it.
Landline.
But then
Give me a rotary phone.
no,
Yeah,
but throw it to 2007 Bourne Ultimatum and the calls that Bourne is having on the phone with Pamela Landy and everyone at CIA. And there's a tension there that they're working with. So it's like you can still do it on the phones. It's just people stopped using
well, I mean,
phones.
that's still 20 years ago now, Born, but
Oh my god, man.
so it's still kind of dated. Right now he'd FaceTime Pamela and he'd be like, "Hey, guess where I am?" Show her.
Whenever I watch a movie and someone FaceTimes someone, it makes me want to jab my heart at like just like
And the FaceTime's like 4K, like okay, like it doesn't look like that. It's like cinematic
dude.
looking.
Whenever I was watching Spider-Man, was it No Way Home? And there's just scenes where Peter Parker's just talking into his camera, like his phone, and it's just like this 9:16 image.
Yeah.
Filling an image that's meant
Perfect.
to be
Yeah.
235. I just want to like look at my screen and just like punch it. Like it's just it looks so
And
ugly.
when they do
Sam
when they do
Raimi
those
would
shots,
fucking never.
when they do
Did not
Oh
see that
shit,
coming.
John Voight's here.
Didn't see that coming.
again.
Oh,
God dang it! I can't get rid of this man.
bro. I'm watching the director's cut. He wasn't in that one. Dude, I wish movies would do that. There's a, I mean, you've seen both have seen Clue, right?
Yes,
Like
of course.
Because there's 3 endings that play at the end of that. When that movie was released, they had 3 different endings playing at different times. So people had different killers at the end, like for the opening night. So they'd be like, "Oh,
Really?
mine was Colonel. Yeah, mine was Colonel Mustard in the thing." It's like, "What are you talking about? It was blah 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 and this." It's like I was like, "Oh, that's fucking genius marketing." You each had a
There's
different
another
ending.
movie that did it pretty. I would say pretty recently. Do you guys know what it is? Because I worked at a movie theater when it came out.
No.
I don't know.
So I was working as a projectionist, and when you get those DCPs, usually you get like 1 or 2 files. One is for the film, and then one is for a film that's got the closed caption files with it built into it. But
Yeah.
I looked onto the DCP for the movie that I was supposed to load, and it came with like 8, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like maybe it was 6 actually. Now I think about it, but it came with 6 files, and with a little note, like a piece of paper that said, like, "Hey, there's 3 different copies of the film. Program them randomly throughout the day." And I was like, why? And I watched all 3 of them, but I realized it was just the last 3. Like it was like the endings were different. It was for Unfriended Dark Web.
The heck is
So
that?
depending on which movie you went to go, like which theater you went to go see it at, and which screening.
Is that a screencast movie?
Do you remember that movie? It was like the whole
Yeah.
thing takes place on like what was it, like Skype?
I was like,
Okay,
Skype
Zoom
at that
now,
time,
yeah. The whole
So
thing takes
this
place on
scene right
Skype,
here-
and there's like a killer.
This is throwing they take reference to this like plot point in Mission 3 because they're putting the blame onto Fishburne's character in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's obviously Billy Crudup's character that's actually the one who did it, but
It's crazy
I
that
remember
Lawrence
that,
Fishburne was not in any more of them. Like he's only in the
Yeah,
third
I think
movie.
he would be perfect for these movies too.
I think the reason why he's not in them is that it's either a scheduling thing or they just went in a different direction because he's fantastic and
He
they
is
brought in
great.
Tom Wilkinson kind of to do the role and then they brought in the other guy, I forgot his name, Alec Baldwin. So Lawrence
Jeremy Renner.
Fishburne, I would have, yeah, Renner's kind of in there too with that. I would have took.
I wonder I wonder if
run over a
Renner's
mall.
in the new one for just like a scene.
If he's in it, he might be in it for a scene, but I doubt it. I think he rubbed McHugh and Tom the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Renner.
No,
I've heard
Renner.
Renner. I've heard he's not a great dude.
Yeah, I've heard he's kind of hard to work with. That Clue Blu-ray, you can have them all 3 endings play, or you can just do a random one. Kind of cool.
Yeah, that's how.
Diopter.
That's one of the first experience. Yeah, that's a good one too. The split diopter shot. You don't really notice it until you see that the car's like the pavement like goes out of focus.
You don't even really notice her first because the car explodes first. You don't really notice her until you like look to the right.
Yeah,
your eye's gonna go right to the car immediately. Bro, Ethan, you were set up, dude. That's my dialogue.
My favorite thing about the Mission Impossible movies is they're all the same. Ethan is on this hunt. Ethan is on. I mean, Ethan is rogue.
That's the
IMF. He is disavowed. How many times has he screwed us over? How many times we got to go after him?
Guys, his mission, should he choose to accept it.
McHugh actually for the new movie for 7 for Final Reckoning. Or not Final Reckoning, but Dead Reckoning. He was like, I'm trying to make this movie without having him get a mission. And we just kind of throw him in, but he's like, we have to give him a mission every time, and it's like because he hates exposition.
Mission Impossible,
but it's like we need the exposition, bro. Like, come on.
What if he's like?
That's why the last scene they shot was that they shot the exposition that scene last.
I had a train of thought. I lost it.
Good.
That's what happens when you look at John Voight. You lose your mind.
Yeah. You lose your mind, not because he's good looking, but because it makes you want to kill yourself. Dead Reckoning. I'm going to call it Dead Reckoning Part 2. I don't care. I'm just going to say it. The next time that we talk about Final Reckoning, it will be said as Dead Reckoning Part 2 because in my mind, that is it. How much do you guys want to bet right now on the pod, viewers listening, that when we go to see that movie in theaters, it will say Dead Reckoning Part 2?
I'd bet that it's not going to.
I know. I'm willing to bet it does. All this Final Reckoning. That is all this Final Reckoning.
You think they're going to pull a Wicked and put the Part 1 just in the title while it's in the movie?
I don't even think
that. You remember what they did with Edge of Tomorrow? And they changed the title for Edge of Tomorrow. They did not change the title
to Edge of Tomorrow.
Lived I Repeat.
Consumers did not know what that movie was called. That is a different story.
Honestly, both those titles are pretty shitty. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
I always talk about it. All You Need Is Kill was an amazing title, and they should have just kept it.
So, okay.
I think if you look on Edge of Tomorrow, but
the Blu-ray for it has giant letters that say Live, Die, Repeat, but it does also have Edge of Tomorrow on there, but it's at the very bottom. And it's smaller.
I think I got rid of the Blu-ray because I got the 4K and it came to the Blu-ray. But I think on the spine, it said the spine. It said Live, Die, Repeat / Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay, so
I just call it Edge at this point.
Edge. Okay, Edge. So
let's call it Live.
Let's take Edge of Tomorrow out of the picture here for 2 seconds because I don't think this applies. Here's my why I think it will. We got Dune Part 1. Was not called Dune Part 1 in the marketing. It was just called Dune.
But it was after movies.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
My point
is the 4K. Does the 4K have 4K for Dune say Part 1? No, it just says Dune.
It does. It does. When you watch the disc, it says Part 1. Even when it was released in theaters,
in the movie,
in the marketing, it said Dune Part 1.
Yeah.
It just says Dune Part 1. I remember being in the theater,
just being so happy.
Yeah. You might be
right. Yeah, like Wicked. Wicked didn't have Wicked Part 1 in any of the marketing, which like smart on them. But when you went to go see it in theaters, it was like Wicked Part 1.
And it could be a marketing thing because there could be people that be like, wait, Part 2. I didn't see Part 1. What's Part 1?
And they got to go back and watch it. That's more money for Warner Brothers.
They are setting up.
If they were smart, they put all these in theaters before the new one.
Yeah, honestly.
I think they're gonna call it Dead Reckoning Part 2 when you're watching it.
It's gonna be Final Reckoning.
It's gonna be Dead Reckoning Part 2.
How much you want to put on that?
Parabellum?
$20.
$20?
$20.
Vikash,
I'm gonna set this one out.
No.
No, I don't want to set it out. Let's come on.
I think you have like inside information. That's why you want to do this bet.
Oh, me? I don't.
Vikash already said $20.
All right, it's you two are doing $20. I ain't going that high. Sorry.
Okay, we'll do 10 pennies.
I said Warner
10
Brothers
pennies?
earlier. My bad. It was Paramount. My bad.
Yeah, how dare
I don't know
you
why I
insult
said
Paramount like that?
fucking Warner
Because
Brothers.
ultimately, the way I think about it
Die repeat.
is that they're
They
just
did, you're
gonna put
right.
Final Reckoning because that's what they named the movie now, and they're worried
Actually, how
about
about
this
this?
movie.
I don't know if it'll be in the opening titles, like the opening credits, but it will absolutely say it at the end.
At the end, after Tom Cruise dies, they're not gonna do anything.
At some point in that movie, whether it's the opening credits or the final credits, it will say on screen "Dead Reckoning Part 2." I can guarantee it.
In the middle of the movie, they'll just cut to Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Yo, high key though.
Is this a Dead Reckoning again? Oh, yo,
I love when movies have a title that shows up like 40 minutes in. Like absurdly long in.
You know what?
I think he said, what is it, 25, 30 minutes, right? Into so the reason one of the genius things about dropping the credits in Dead Reckoning so late is that it's like you're setting the movie up again, and now it feels like you've got a new lease on the pace of the movie with your audience, because they're like, oh, now the movie starts because you just dropped the credits.
Yeah, you know, if he does it great is 127 hours when the boulder lands on his arm, and that's when he goes and he sits there and he has the shot of the boulder on his arm crushed. Then
how
it's
long is it in the movie?
Hours. Maybe 15-20 minutes.
Yeah,
I think it's like 15. Because then you're like, oh, boom,
Drive My Car.
Danny, I'm so excited we're getting a Danny
Drive
Boyle
My
movie
Car.
This year.
The opening titles show up like an hour into it, maybe 50 minutes.
But that's what I'm saying.
With Mandy, the title drops like an hour into the movie.
But Mandy is a bit shorter, right? Drive My Car is long enough to where it's like if you drop it an hour,
it's like almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
It'll keep you
Mandy's
going.
like hour and 50 minutes, maybe max 2 hours.
I also love when movies put the title just at the very end. That's good shit.
Yeah, like you don't see the title at all until the very end.
No one does the title yet.
I mean,
besides
Oppenheimer was at
the end,
and Tenet were in the beginning. Tenet was
Oppenheimer's at the end.
Oppie's at the
There's one for
it's the Prometheus line.
For me, yeah, that's in the beginning.
I like that they kind of redid this train sequence in Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah.
With my man Shea Wiggum.
Did I tell you about that whole thing? How they brought, like, Shea was at a party and he just walked up to McHugh and that's how he got in the movie. He's like, hey man, I really love what y'all are doing with these movies.
Is that how Shea Wiggum talks?
Apparently.
Yo, on God though.
No, he's cool.
I told you guys about how I ran into James Badgedale at the airport.
Yeah.
Super nice.
They're gonna say James Bond for a second. I was like, wait, what?
Aaron Taylor Johnson told me he was gonna be James Bond. No, I don't fucking know.
Daniel Craig. I mean, there's 4 left. 3 left.
I would hope that they Craig, just, they go with someone very much like they pull up a great character actor to become Bond. Because, I mean, imagine Alfonso's doing it. Alfonso's
not going to be 100% honest, man. Like,
it's going to be Tom Holland, let's be honest, guys.
It's cool to see that Alfonso might be involved, but, like, Amazon completely taking the reins on it doesn't really bode well for me.
It's going to be Tom Holland.
It's going to shit the bed.
It's David Heyman. I mean, I would hope that he keeps... I mean, he's never led anybody astray. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But then again, there is also Amy Pascal, so we'll see. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you get Amy and Heyman in the same room.
The red is really defined in this movie too. Very red reds.
No apple red. Like a red delicious red.
The red right there. This train is filled with red. Have you ever been on, like, is this considered a bullet train? You ever been on a bullet train?
Never been on a bullet train. I've been on a lot of trains though.
Train.
I've been on trains in Chicago, New York, Baltimore. I always wanted to do like DC,
the cross country train.
Amtrak
takes like
a week. Expensive. It's so expensive,
dude. For the amount of money that you're paying, it is way too expensive.
Yeah.
For the amount of time it takes.
I would just want to do it once, just to like be like that was kind of cool. But I feel like 3 days in, I'd be like, all right, my ass fucking hurts.
I want to do the one that's the one West Coast that's through like it's like the Grand Canyon area, and they've kind of got like the
Or
panoramic
just like
cars.
stop halfway, like go to like Texas or something.
The longest train I've been on was 15 or 16 hours. But those are typically sleepers, so you don't have to worry. The sitting ones,
pay
extra.
Where does the train stop to sleep, Vikash?
You got to pay extra for the rooms, bro.
No, I mean, so those are in India, so there's different, like the whole carts are, there's no like rooms. It's just like every single like compartment, and then like where you're walking, like there's beds on the sides, and there's beds, like 3 stacks of beds or 2 stacks of beds on one side. So each compartment, essentially, you have a room for 7, from anywhere from 6 to 8 people, something like that. But everything's open. And I've been in a situation where in the amount of space for 9 people, there was 17 or 18 people. So, yeah, I lived in a illustrious time with all
stretching
that.
is the funniest fucking thing in the world.
It's Cronenberg, jeez.
I love Cronenberg. He's gonna be in that new Ready or Not movie.
Yeah.
I saw that.
What the fuck is he doing there? Which, like, cool, but like, what's he doing there?
Is that, you think that's gonna be like a hidden sequel? Wait, no, because she died in Abigail, so that wouldn't make sense. I thought it was gonna be like a hidden sequel to Abigail.
What? The Radio Silence new movie? I thought they were making Ready or Not too. Yeah.
But because I thought
we were just talking about Ready or Not.
Yeah, we just were talking about that because Cronenberg's in it.
He is so locked in. Pat is so funny.
Wait, what? How is Cronenberg's in the movie?
Yeah,
there's a David Cronenberg
in the movie.
I mean, is he? I don't know.
Unless there's some new actor called David Cronenberg.
Just making his debut at
He's made a few movies. I've never seen a single one. Who knows who this guy is?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of this guy.
It's a movie called The Fly. I don't know what that is. I assume it's about a fly.
Sounds dirty.
I had a French copy of that movie on Blu-ray for the longest time, and the cover would just say La Mouche. And every time I think of The Fly, I just think of that now.
Bro, this cast is crazy.
La Mouche.
Look at that. Look at this lighting here. Just lighting the faces.
They got my man Nestor Carbonell. They got Sarah Michelle Gellar. They got Elijah Wood, David Cronenberg, and then Kevin Durand, who was the villain in the new King of the Planet of the Apes. Great actor. That sounds actually fun. Y'all saw, actually, speaking of it, 6 degrees, not even 6 degrees, 2 degrees. Henry Czerny is in Ready or Not. He's great in that.
Oh yeah,
he's Kevin Durand is also in Abigail too, which is probably why.
Yeah, that's why. And Catherine,
sequel to
and
Abigail
Catherine
Newton.
They died, so
they died.
So I don't know. Spoiler, sorry, but I don't know. Maybe it could be. I don't know. Maybe they come back to life.
These glasses. If this was made now, it'd be those Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
Oh yeah. Gotcha, motherfucker. Oh shit. Dude, the lighting on Cruz's face there is so good.
And on top of that, the pacing of the dialogue is great too, because nowadays, if they did this scene, he would just throw the glasses on. You would see it. It would happen within like 20 seconds. And it'd be done with already, but the scene is still pulling. It's still building up.
There's a couple Dutch angles. He really kind of did kind of stop halfway through though. After you said about like the paranoia is kind of like somewhat gone.
It's like I said, like a lot of the Dutch angles kind of came in more in play towards the beginning of the movie, where like the paranoia was like more in the forefront. And this one's like the paranoia is not there anymore, but also like how is he gonna stop him?
Until now, because it's like how are we stopping him now? Yeah.
A lot of the stuff with like the Dutch angles was replaced with a lot of fluid camera motion, and I feel like that's a result of them like trying to show us like, hey, he's in control. There's a lot more precision with what they're doing. They have a plan, and now it's like the plan's unfolding. And it's just not going the way that they want it to because they were getting screwed from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. What do y'all think of Ethan's costuming through the movies.
I mean, this one he's like very businessy in this one.
And he's got like these sweaters that he's
still
wearing.
like a young,
I was gonna say the
like
sweater
agent.
in this movie that he has with the jacket looks really good.
Yeah,
he's still the young agent. He's not.
And he wears the leather again in the next movie, but not in the third movie, right?
In
the third movie, he's wearing
it looks
it's
really
like jeans
bad.
and a t-shirt.
Like it almost looks like they're trying really hard to make him look really cool.
Yeah, he's just wearing all black.
It feels like, you know how the second movie feels? Yeah. It feels like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. Like he was never cool wearing it, but he thinks he looks so fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, what I just rewatched, we just did Paddington 2 on the pod. Good, fantastic. And the CG's fantastic here too. I was listening to somebody talking about doing this, and
really fucking good job with how like powerful the wind is. Like they do a really good fucking job of how fast they're fucking going.
In the third act of Paddington 2, Paddington uses like sticky candied apples to like get up on top of the train to go and catch Hugh Grant's character. And the tension of the scene is
to this.
yeah, it is
ruined by this.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll say when the helicopter goes into the tunnels a little.
I rewatched it about a week or two ago. I remember I kind of like winced a little bit. I was like, "Ooh,
yeah."
I love the
last. The idea
you see in this movie is that
the idea of like the idea of him having to like go on it is like pretty cool though. To be like, you would think, oh, he's just gonna crash into the thing. Like, oh no, now he's fucking flying it under. Normally, this is your climax, and then they die in the explosion as it hits the top right there of the tunnel.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about recently? We just did Terminator 1. I was thinking about the camera, like the helicopter work in Terminator 2, which is like mind-blowingly crazy. Because they had
Terminator 2, I would argue it looks even better there than it does here, and it's older.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's a trillion times better in Terminator 2 because they had a guy who literally was like, yeah, I can take a helicopter through this
looks very
bare to no clearance LA tunnel. And he's like, I'll do it. And like, if you know, and they're all worried about safety. He's like, no, I can do it. I got this. And it looks amazing in the movie.
It's Cameron, dog. It's all Cameron. It's my boy. God, dude, I'm so like.
I don't think this movie ever needed this.
Trailer, man.
This is the only part of the movie where I'm like, they do the action, but I'm like, and it's tension and it works. It's just like, we didn't need this.
We didn't need it, but we want to see it.
And this is, that's the thing. This is what
he's very nonchalant about being flying in a tunnel. Yeah, that shot.
And it's like, this is the bit of the work of the movie where it's like a lot of this took over with the subsequent movies, and the juice they have there is obviously better.
The juice was also, hey, we're going to have him hang on the side of a plane.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'm sorry.
He's going to run
and not see that shit.
He's going to run. How much the shot of him running in Mission 3 is still like one of the coolest shots I've ever seen.
I think it goes on for fucking like 10 minutes. It's insane.
And it's like, I understand if they cut or something like that, but he's really doing it. The camera's there with him. The tension is pitch perfect, high, and it's just a perfect execution of it. So, because my problem with Mission 3 was always that he goes to get the rabbit's foot, and then they never show him going to get the rabbit's foot inside. And then I get older, and I'm like, yeah, they didn't really need to show him get the rabbit's foot.
Mm-hmm. But also, Mission Impossible 3 has Philip Seymour Hoffman, so.
Which he's the most amazing villain that they've had, and they've never touched that. And even McHugh says, like, we're always chasing that, and we never will get it.
That's the thing, though, I don't think he's the best villain.
No. Okay, let me get on my rant real quick.
I think he has the best performance of all the villains, but I don't think he's the best villain that's written in this series.
Yeah, he is so good as like an actor that they had to literally make an AI become the villain because no human can physically be a better villain in a Mission Impossible movie than Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That shot of him flying towards the train,
awesome.
I know, it looks cool, awesome. But it definitely like has aged a little bit.
They use that shot if like the Oscars ever do like an action sequence. They always use that shot.
I remember
they're
that.
about
That
to-
shot was everywhere, man.
Yeah.
They're about to do the whole thing.
They kind of did like when he jumped onto the helicopter, they kind of did like an Indiana Jones like triumphant John Williams little thing.
Danny Elfman
Before
score.
Here's your little.
This guy looks like he's a Pixar character.
He does. I was about to say.
Very much so.
That dude looks very French.
Yeah, he looks like he was in like The Incredibles.
Jacked there. He's fucking ripped there. So yeah, I got it. We got you, Vanessa Redgrave.
When I was a kid, I thought Vanessa Redgrave and
lighting on her face too.
What's her name?
Dude,
forgot her name. Professor McGonagall. I thought they were the same woman.
Maggie Smith.
Maggie Smith, R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
I always thought Maggie Smith was like. I always thought Maggie Smith was so old because of Hook. I was like, how old is Maggie Smith? Because they make her look really old.
Yeah, she'd been playing an old woman for a hot minute.
I was like, how old is Maggie Smith?
There are some actors that like got big after they're older, and it's just like one of those things where
Maggie. I mean, Maggie Smith is
an old person.
She's an Academy Award winner. She won an Academy Award in like '69.
Not Alfred, but Michael Caine's kind of one of those actors. Like if you go back and watch movies where he's really young, it's like it feels like you're watching a completely different person.
Mm-hmm.
Italian Job. Zulu. Is he in Zulu? I don't know if he's in Zulu. They do this scene in what, 4? Right? At the end of 4. Or no, is it the end of 5 when they show that Michelle Monaghan's actually still alive? No, it is 4. I'm skipping
4,
movies.
Yeah,
it's when he like sees her. He sees her from like the distance, right?
Yeah, the whole San Francisco scene.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He's wearing a wig in that too. He's wearing a wig at the beginning of Mission 8 or 7 also because he had the long hair already for 8. And they had to go back and shoot the opening scene, or whatever the scene of him accepting the mission or whatever, the stuff with the Jim Phelps actor.
Till the next movie.
Luther's got a nice fit in this, bro.
Yeah, Luther's looking good.
What was this Michael Mann looking camera? Little like airplane shot. Bro, y'all remember tapes?
What's a tape?
That's a cassette.
Bro.
Wait, no, it's a whatever.
Is it 8-track tape?
Yeah. The Caribbean. Boom, boom, ba-da-dum, boom, ba-da-dum, boom, ba-da-dum.
We're going.
That's it, gang.
Yes.
First episode down. Rewatch the first 7 or 8 movies, guys. We got more coming to you.
Yeah.
This podcast is hosted and edited by Pat Brennan. That's me, with intro and closing music by Patrick Baxter.